Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online league. We're back with Simic Broodscale on the play for game one. Yeah, I mean, we can keep this. We did make some adjustments to the list. I'm just trying to see if the 7-mana value spells that have been performing well when we're using Ugin's Lab will continue to perform well without Ugin's Lab. So we're testing mainly Ugin as well as Sire of Seven Deaths. Mountain looking like it is Prowess. Okay. Attack for one. It's rare if this was Sire instead of Ugin to be a bit better, admittedly. Ancient Stirrings. We'll go E-Temp and pass. We could have gone Saga. That way could have created blockers, theoretically speaking. Barbarian Ring. Is that normally in Prowess? Normally I remember seeing that more in Burn. This seems more like Burn than Prowess. I guess Burn could just be running Cutter. That's a thought. Skip Critics. Yep. Combat, let's just get this out of the way. We're going to ramp and exile you, and done. So 4/5, too short of Ugin next turn. Draw, Springleaf Drum. Springleaf Drum is nice, actually. So I'm thinking we go 5, 6, next turn 7. So Forest, Springleaf Drum, Stirrings. There's Basking Broodscale and a K command. I think let's grab the K command. Because we go Ugin, we're pretty much set here. We'll hold. We can K command for 3. Springleaf Drum, then sack. So no matter what they play here, we should be fine. Down to 10. And passing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could ramp one more for 8. Is there a benefit to doing so is the question. I don't know if there is. Draw, Ancient Stirrings, Urza Saga, trigger. Springleaf Drum, tap for white. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ugin, trigger. No targets. And gain 3 life, draw a card. Wooded Foothills fetch. Skullcrack. Main deck Skullcrack would be impressive. Yeah? Down to 7. Draw a card. There's Halfling, will pass. They're almost a threshold, right? Is it 7? 7 or more. Yep. Eidolon's fine. Rift Bolt, sure. Draw, trigger. Ugin plus. Bladed Bloodchief. I mean, at this point, I'm thinking we go ramp and scry draw. And done. Exile Eidolon. Eidolon down. X2. Sire 7 Deaths. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at most. Yeah. Bottom Sire, bottom Caverns, draw, Beseiju, Play Cavernosols, name Eldrazi. Play Ancient Stirrings. Fleshraker Ballista. I mean, we'll grab the Fleshrake. So, 1, 2, Springleaf Drum, 3, Ugin Trigger. Blade of the Blood Chief is mana neutral, gives me back a blocker as well. Always yield. And unless they can kill me this turn, this should be the game. Because they can't let Ugin ult. If Ugin ults, I win. Fun scoops it up. So yeah, I'm going to say this is burn. Would be my guess. Trying to think of how I want to sideboard here. Also, for some reason, I swear, all my Google Docs are getting signed out. They do it at the most inconvenient time. All right, let's try this again, shall we? So this is burn. Win for game 1. We don't really want Dismember. Wayscape could get rid of the Eidolon, which is nice. TKS isn't bad. Trinisphere is interesting, right? Like, one spell a turn isn't a bad thing. I'm not sure how much of this we want to mix up. Like, I'm thinking maybe just bring in TKS. It's a decent blocker, and the best way to win against burn is by emptying their hand. Yeah, something like this. See where it goes. But yeah, just gonna see if Sire 7th and Ugin are good enough for main. I've also considered maybe like some number of TKS main, whether it be 4 or otherwise, and like 2 Ugin. I mean, this hand's just fantastic. We keep. Pass. Sunbaked Canyon. So Spear to 19. Draw. Beseiju play Halfling. Pass. And there's a world where you just block with a Halfling, right? Shock. 17. Lava Spike, target me. Okay. Scare the critics. Target Halfling. Okay. I mean, that's 3 damage that otherwise would be going at me, so I'm okay with this. Alright, down to 13. 3 in hand. Draw. Yavimaya. Glaring Fleshrake. And pass. Alright. You would need 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lava Spike, target me. Down to 10. 2 cards left in hand. I mean, if the Fleshrake remains and they have no interaction, we win. Skater critics target me. Down to 7. A little bit awkward, right? Because if they have, let's say, another Lava Spike or Bolt, I lose. No, well, it'd have to be instant speed, right? It'd have to be instant speed because we hit 3, 4. The only problem is next turn, the most I can do is Broodscale Adapt. I actually can't win. So I think we take the risk. All right. And we'll go Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. So I'll start with Broodscale. Always yield. Do you have interaction? What's this last card in hand? Maybe a land? Opponent's thinking hard here. What about? Alright, ETBs, always yield. Alright, sack the spawn for the blade. And does opponent scoop? No. Alright. Or maybe they are. It looks like they are. Yep, we got there. Alright. Definitely surprised to see burn. Been a hot minute, but I'll take the win. We'll be back for match number 2. Alright, we're back for game 2, or match 2 on the draw for game 1. We'll keep this. I mean, it's the combo. And go Saga. Would love to see a Temple off top. Shadow Spear, okay. Halfling. Halfling's interesting, but the thing is we don't have the blade in hand, so we kind of want to go Saga. Saga, pass, and pass. Island Shadow Spear feels like Affinity. Yes. So we have to worry about Metallic Rebuke. Memory. I still have the 3. No, it's a token creature, not an artifact. So I only have 2. Draw. Ugin. So we can't play Flesh Rake. We just go Broodscale. Thing is, we're still missing a land, aren't we? Let's set it off. And I think we still have to go for it. Pass. And pass. Yeah, we specifically need a land off top. There's Saga. 2 in hand. Paying cost for Kappa. Urza. Was not expecting the Urza, I'll be real. 1 left in hand. 1, 2, 3. So they do have the Metallic Rebuke. But that doesn't really matter as long as we draw into a land. Emery grabs back Mox. That's fine. Triggers the hero token. Okay. Paying cost for what? Spell Bomb. So they can bounce the Broodscale is what they're doing now. Yeah, that's a bit annoying, admittedly. Draw. Again, I'd really like a land. Rumble. Float. Blade of the Blood Chief. So we could go Rumble. Basically, the question just becomes whether or not we die next turn, right? 4, 6, let's say 7 at a minimum. Or, sorry, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're looking at least 14 damage. The thing is they'll be able to replay the Spell Bomb next turn as well. Well, that all is rather annoying. So, like, we could attempt to equip, but then what? Nothing. Rumble? Again, I need a land. I would love to see a E-Temp. Saga. We'll go Saga. Saga trigger. Attempt to equip. Like I said, I know they have the Spell Bomb. I guess there's an argument that we could have also just K-commanded the construct. Yes, it returns. Fails to equip. Yeah, that Spell Bomb came in clutch. Alright, we pass. We're not dead yet. We're not in a good position either. Saga, make a construct. Oh, that's right. They can tap the Shadow Spear because of Urza. Right. Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. Hits Saga, reduces the number of types in yard. So they're worried about Emrakul. So we're looking at least 11, 12. They're looking at Spell Bomb again to deal with the combo. So that is... how much damage is that? 5, 6, 14. They can make 15. It's not dead yet. We'll take. We're down to 1. 5, 13, 14, 15. Just be 15, right? Am I crazy? You're crazy? If you had equipped this Shadow Spear, then yeah. Okay, cool. Draw. E-Temp, trigger. E-Temp. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 short on Emrakul. The problem is I only have 1 green source. If I had 2, I might be able to attempt to recast. Even then, though, I wouldn't have enough to then equip. That's awkward. I can K-command. So I could Flesh Rake. But then what? And this Aether Spell Bomb's a problem, actually. Huh. Choose problem. So the idea is we'd need a turn to survive. I don't think I have a way to make that work. Because again, it just comes down to Broodscale. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see the line. You play the Broodscale. You could play the Flush Rake, but that's not doing much. You play the Broodscale, we attempt to equip, they bounce it, we're short on green, so we can't replay it. If we had a Springleaf Drum, it would have been good. I wonder if maybe we should have played the Halfling earlier. Huh. We can K-Command X equals 2. The only problem is the Shadow Spear can make the Construct have Trample. Ooh, interesting. Actually, K-Command would bump us up to 5. It's mana neutral. It doesn't do anything, though. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. That doesn't do too much, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't think I have any outs. Alright, we'll concede. Unfortunate. Just trying to piece together, like, something. So I'm not sure if this is Affinity. I'm going to say that it is. It's close enough. Alright, so Wastegate Battle Mage is in. Dismember is in. Cut, cut, cut. Cut. And I want to say cut Ugin. Keep the Sires. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, without the 8th, the Spell Bomb, we were into clear. We went for the Blade. I guess maybe there's an argument to go for the Springleaf Drum and try and find Blade through other means. Because the biggest thing was we need double green. I guess we could have went for the Verdant Cat over the Saga. Maybe. Alright, we'll keep this. Yeah, I think we're just going for a Rumble on 2. Again, we'd love to see a Temple off top. I suppose a Delighted Halfling would be a bit late. The casting window in comparison to Rumble would be a bit awkward. You have Maya, pass. And pass. If we find a Blade, we're in a good position. Malevolent Rumble into Broodscale Blade. We'd still need another land, though. Island. Passing. Could have Consign. There's Blade. Okay. Name Eldrazi. So now what we really need is a land. Flesh Rake. Huh. Still think we take the land. I'll pass. And pass. I guess we need... No. We don't have enough yet. We have the spawn, but that's it. Because we can play the Broodscale, sure. Playing pretty slowly here. I mean, I suppose I can just try and jam the Broodscale. It can't be countered. We could attempt to play the Blade. I imagine this is countered, yeah. They had to have a consign at some point, so now we need to find another Blade, basically. We got the Wastegate Battle Mage in the wings. We can always ramp the Broodscale. Island Cycle. Grabs an island. Okay. We hold. Did we see white sources at all last time? I mean, I guess like the opals, but beside that, I don't think so. Metalcraft? Thoughtcast. Okay, draw 2. Opal's online, amber's not. Draw. E-temp. That is 5/6. Battle Mage, we'll get rid of Opal. No reason to get rid of the Amber right now. I will adapt the Broodscale. Always yes, always yield. We're kind of at the mid-range beatdown plan now, as we start looking towards Sire 7 deaths, which will be uncounterable next turn. We'll hold. There's Urza. Okay, make a construct. So I can bounce Urza, exile the construct. It's a thought. Or I could bounce the construct, exile the amber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Blue. Colorless green. So exile amber, bounce the construct. Consign. Consign replicated, so it's going to hit the triggers. I mean, realistically speaking, I feel like that's still pretty well in my favor, so I'm pretty happy with that. Go to combat. It's a 1/4, so we can attack it with both. Yep. Four cards in hand. Paying cost for Thoughtcast, 2. So it's already 2 consigns we've burned through. I'd imagine they have a full suite of 4, if I had to guess. My thought here is if they tap out, then Ugin would probably be one of our better plays. Otherwise, next turn we can always Windmill Slam the Sire. Emery will hit an Amber. Draw. Another Broodscale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I mean, we could just Rumble. Their hand's also a bit or their field's a bit awkward because it doesn't. None of it blocks well into what we have. I mean, we can just cast the Sire and call it a day, I think. Let's first attack. See what they want to block, if anything. I don't think they can flash in a random artifact to grow the construct. Down to 11. Alright, let's drop the Sire. And it's going to be very difficult for them to deal with. Alright. What say you, opponent? Can you deal with Sire 7 deaths? Paying cost for Otawara. I mean, that's That's a painful Otawara. Alright. I mean, now we have lethal on board, so they need to hold back blockers. I can cast the Broodscale and adapt it. I would like a land, though. 4 cards in hand. Only artifact in the yard is Amber. I'm doubtful they can just win this turn. Paying cost for what? Another Emery. So just trying to fill the yard. Hits Amber Opal. There's the Planisphere. Planisphere is pretty good here, actually. Puts another body on board that can grow. Yep. Grows the construct as well, so now they have better blocks. That's not bad. Ooh, and then you're going to grab back the Opal, growing both the construct and that. That's pretty good, actually. Damn. Yeah. I was trying to figure out the tech with the Minamo, but that works. Okay. So now they block pretty well into my board. 2. Paying cost. Thoughtcast. Okay. 4 in hand. Obble. And their board state's starting to become a bit scary, admittedly. I don't think they can attack. I think that would be a bit of a mistake. They do have enough mana for... Okay, I was gonna say for... No, they still have enough mana for Rebuke. So do I need to play around that? That would be a bit annoying. Because we can Broodscale, we can adapt. Oh. Harbinger. Well, that's just rude. Yeah, draw. Stirrings. See, I would like a land. Would like a land. Actually, I have an idea. Rumble? Find a blade? Oh, no blade. K-Command Rumble. K-Command would have been a whiff as well, to be fair. In that case, E-Temp. Play the E-Temp. 3, 4, 5, 6. Everything's blue. Oh, that's interesting. Actually, well, no, they're not forced to block. Never mind. Yeah, I think we just pass at this point. We're really hoping for a blade there. A blade would have done wonders. Because they were tapped out. Unfortunate. Second response. Rude. Because now they can just grab back the Aether Spell Bomb with the Emery. Grow the hero token. Regrow the construct. Bounce something else that they really want. 2 cards in hand. They could Wurza. That's an option. They're still stuck in a bit of an awkward position where they're not wanting to attack. They also need to keep this Sire off the board. Alright, so they Wurza. Finds an Emery. Yeah. The Minamo cannot untap Emery. Emery finds Darksteel Citadel, Bauble. We'll pass. Interesting. 13 damage would put me to 6. The only thing is, well, I guess they don't need to block 2. They just need to block 1, right? Because they can bounce the other. Yeah. Awkward. Five. So there's no way to get to Sire or Ugin right now. We could triple block the construct. They would take out 2 Wastegapes. No, they would just bounce something, right? You can't do that even. Yeah, I think we just take it. It's awkward. Down to 6. Bobble. Land. 1 in hand. Draw. Or rather, trigger, then draw. Flash Rake. Yeah, that's a bit annoying. Bouncing the spawn was right, is a thing. I think I have to get towards the Sire, so I think I need a Stirrings. Damn. We could Ballista, actually. I was really hoping for a green source we could play the Broodscale. I guess we could Ballista, ping down to Harbinger. How does this read? Return target creature to its owner's hand. They could just threaten the... Well, no. Yeah, maybe Ballista's right. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Otherwise, we only have 3, 5, 6. We'd need a land off top. Yeah, let's go Ballista. Ballista. So we can't go after the Harbinger yet, because they can just bounce at the hand. So we're going to hold. So at the same time, if we attack, hold up. If we attack right now, they would have to block everything, right? But then we're just dead on board. Yeah, so we can't attack. Okay. Let's hold. You can Aether Spellbomb 2 cards. You block, block, and ping. So we're not dead. One, two, three, 1, 2. So we'd only take 2 as of right now. So yeah, they can Spellbomb, let's say Wastegate Ballista, or Spellbomb, draw card. A draw card. Okay. Again, if Sire is able to hit board, we should just win. Thoughtcast. Grows the hero token. Worst thing we could see, by and large, is a Shadow Spear. Shadow Spear would probably do us in. Not even probably, it will do us in. If we can just survive the turn and avoid a... What, Sink the Stupor? Land the Sire? We're in a good spot. I mean, could try and Glaring Flesh Rake. Equip. Oh. Well, that's annoying. Ping. And ping. You can spellbomb one card. We can block, we can block. Oh, but now Minamo. Yeah, Minamo's a problem. Because now that's online. So now you can bounce back 2. That's awkward. Yeah, bounce back 2. We have 1 blocker. That's lethal damage on board. Yeah. Yeah, did not think about that. Yeah, Minamo, untap Emery, pick up Aether Spellbomb, Aether Spellbomb bounce, another one. Well, no. We'll be at 1. We'll be exactly at 1. Unless they have another artifact. Darksteel Citadel. Oh, they played... Okay, yeah. Never mind. Now it's... I thought that's what they brought back, but no. Then Emery, Spellbomb, bounce. And then I can only block 1. We'll block the construct. Or rather, we block the hero, but then the construct. Yeah. Yeah. Bounce. Block hero. 7 damage. Down to -1. Huh. Maybe I should have held on pinging down the Harbinger. Go to blocks. We block. Yeah. Awkward. Awkward. Alright. Well, sometimes win some, sometimes lose some. Definitely a matchup I'm not familiar with. In general, this list is not what I usually expect out of Affinity. It's very much more playing around the Planisphere and Urza rather than Kappa. Interesting. All right. Well, we'll be back for match number 3. All right, and we're back for match 3 on the draw for game 1. I will keep. We're gonna go Saga into Wooded Foothills. I think we go Rumble, right? Rumble on 2, pass. Because if a Rumble on 2, we make a spawn. We end up with 4 mana the turn after. Or I guess 3 mana the turn after. Emperor Bones? Overloaded Bailmerk. Whiffs. Draw. Springleaf. Ooh, okay. That is interesting. Fetch. Forest. Nope, not Broodscale. Rumble. Another Blade. I might as well take it. Blade. We'll pass. Yeah, I would have liked to see another Broodscale, honestly. Three cards. Unfortunately, them tapping out doesn't necessarily mean anything here, because they could always have the Solitude. Overlord trigger. A little bit sketched by that. Float. Blade. E-temp. And I think we just go for it, right? Three. Aven Interrupter. Was not expecting that. Yep. Becomes plotted, so I guess another turn. Play the Springleaf Drum. And Springleaf. And their Blade. At that point, it'll pass. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Two short of the Emrakul. Actually, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, yeah, that was right. Alright, so we can play it for 2 next turn, which means we still have it. Thoughtseize hits the Emrakul. I can actually pay the 2 of the Temple, funny enough. Which means we can make this infinite. 2. Another Overlord looking for a Solitude. Whiffs. Alright, so the question becomes whether or not they have the Solitude in hand. If they don't respect the double blade and attack into the Aven Interrupter, we win. As long as they don't have Solitude. Alright. Triggers. Let's see if they have a draw. Ugin. Remind us this. Exile target spell. Doesn't say whatchamacallit. Does not say counter. So 2. Cast Broodscale. Equip. There's the Solitude. ETB trigger targets. In response, green. White tap. I guess I could have tapped the Broodscale, admittedly. Always yes. Always yield. Yeah, not much else can be done about that. Triggers. Always yield. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So next turn we can play the Ugin. What did they exile? The Felia? Another Solitude. So Felia's in hand. Okay. Well, at that point, I'll pass. Not much else can be done. Black. Do you have another Thoughtseize? Awkward as hell. Yeah, you take the Ugin. Taking all my good cards. Felia in hand. Attack for 2. So I love a K command off top. Another Ugin would be good. Emrakul. Draw. Stirrings. Alright, cast Stirrings. And the last card should be Felia. Awkward and annoying. We don't want the Blade. We'll take the Boseiju. Play Yavimaya. And Equip Blade. We can... Yeah, so let's do this, I suppose. Yeah, I guess we can tap a Spring Leaf, green, colorless, Boseiju, yeah. Alright, at that point, we'll just pass. Let's have those equipped. Here comes Felia. They know about the Boseiju. The only problem I see here is the fact that they're going to attempt to blink the one with 3 counters on it. Attacking. Or rather, flicker, not blink. Alright, what do you flicker? In response. So, tap you and Boseiju. And at that point, we'll pass. We'll take the 4 down to 14. If we can draw into a Broodscale, we win. We'll take. So Broodscale is a win. Draw. Boy. Alright, well, that's just awkward. I don't think I want anything that's on the bottom off of Stirrings, do I? Not that I can think of. Cavernous Souls, Name Eldrazi. At this point, we'll pass. Valial Flicker, probably one of the spawns. 1 card in hand. They'll grab back Solitude, so no matter what I cast, unless it's an Ugin. This is looking at 9 damage on board. Triggers. Target. Let this resolve. Solitude, I imagine. During Solitude, as expected, we'll sack the spawn. Blades trigger. And we'll take it. No blocks. Down to 5. So lethal's on board now. Alright. Need to see Ugin. I'm not even sure Emrakul would work. Drawn nothing but bricks. I mean, the double Thoughtseize to hit exactly our payouts was just rough. Alright. Game 2. So we're going to bring in Wayscape. We didn't see signs of Ketra. So I'm not sure. And probably a Sire here. On a back like this. Yeah, it would have been really hard for them to deal with effectively. That would have been a good cast. I mean, all the things we could have cast would have been good. Emrakul, Ugin. But no dice. There's some thought to going down one, or down to 1 Emrakul, I wonder. Emrakul's opening hand data has been pretty abysmal, and playing Traverse the Uvenwald does help, being able to search for it. Only downside about Ugin, Traverse does not find it. Specifically states creature or land, not planeswalker. I forget if Analyze the Pollen specifies planeswalker, or it's just basically Traverse but collect evidence 6. I mean, opponent's probably going to bring in Vindicate. We already saw main deck White Orchid Phantom, so unless they don't run a full suite, they'll probably bring in the remainder. On the play for game 2. I mean, yeah, we go for it, right? Play Blade the Bloodchief. And pass. And pass. Shouty Backstreet. Surveil. Puts it on top. Draw. Okay, so Flesh Rake will act as Solitude bait. Thoughtseize. Hits the Broodscale. 'Tis annoying. Still the Rumble, though. Draw. Halfling. Wooded Foothill. Fetch. We'll grab our Breeding Pool and Shock. Malevolent Rumble. Other Glaring Flesh Rake. Wish I didn't tap my Temple now. Ugin's also tempting, but yeah, we'll go Glaring Flesh Rake. Trigger. Halfling. Combat. Two, three, four, five, six. One short of Sire. And two short of Ugin. But we do have enough types in Yard for Emrakul. That is for sure. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, exactly. Traverse the Uvenwald would get me to Broodscale for the win. Yeah, I do wonder if maybe I should have played the Broodscale on 2 instead of the Flesh Rake. The Flesh Rake seemed right, though, because it just acts as good bait. So even if they Solitude it, then we have a big old Broodscale. And basically just say we have, I don't know, a billion life. Well, I guess they wouldn't need to Solitude it. They could always Fatal Push or Vindicate. Draw. Stirrings. Fire off Stirrings. Walking Bliss, another Flesh Raker. I mean, we think we just go with the Flesh Rake. We just go with Flesh Rake at this time. Flesh Rake. Always yield. Always yield. So now we're going to get a ton of damage here. Actually, can I win? Put him to 4. Put him to 3. Put him to 2, so no. Alright, we'll attack in a flesh rake. Just hold up the dismember. Down to 4. Felia. And step. Felia down, no thank you, friend. The dog must go. Pass. We have lethal on board. If we draw into a colorless card, then even more so. I guess specifically a colorless spell. Colorless spell. Technically lands are colorless cards, but they're not colorless spells. Witch Blessed Meadow. I was about to say, bolting that would be a death sentence. Flicker Wisp. Flickers Witch Blessed Meadow. Yep. Comes back in, pop the blade. But... land? Stirrings. Walking Ballista. Any order. And Bone Scoops it up. Alright, we'll take the win. Sometimes 3 Flesh Rakers is just enough. Alright, let's go to sideboard for game 3. We want that gemstone back, which means we need to cut something here. We could cut Sire. I don't want to cut any more payoffs, so Flesh Rake, K-Command, Ballista are off the table. We want to keep the Spring Leaf and Blades. I could cut a Rumble. Either Rumble or Sire. Rumble's numbers are pretty poor, so we'll cut a Rumble. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. All right. Well, I'm trying to think of if we saw anything surprising there, but I don't think we did. Just Thoughtseize, Felia, Flick Wisp, the norm. Dismember was good, as per usual in this matchup. Just instant speed removal for the dog is always welcome. I'm trying to think of what other hate they might have for this matchup, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. David Interrupter's not bad. Alright. Excuse me. Like I said, for the most part, I imagine just bringing in White Orchid Phantom and Vindicate. Vindicate's a okay removal spell in this matchup. I don't think it's as good in this matchup as it is in Eldrazi Ramp. Just because normally Vindicate's going after lands, where at sorcery speed, it's not really great creature removal. I mean, I think we keep this. We're looking for Blade. We'll pass. Shouting Backstreet. They've also had some weird... I guess they don't really have too many turn 1 plays, to be fair. Countersoul's showing up to the party late, friend. Stirrings. Wayscaper Saga. The Saga's kind of awkward, of course, because of White Orchid Phantom, but I think we go Saga. It's the only thing that gets us to Blade right now. We'll pass and pass. Burge. Interesting. So that tells me they probably have a Flicker Ephem effect in hand, which is a bit awkward. E-Temp. E-Temp's too early. So we could play the Saga and call their bluff. Otherwise, we can go Yavimaya and just play the Broodscale. Can we just play the Yavimaya and play the Broodscale? And pass. So if they want to spend their turn flickering the white orchid, that's fine. Next turn we can E-temp into command if we really need. Push. Oof. Planes and attack for 2. Draw. Another stirrings. I'll display the temp and hold with K command with bated breath. Interesting, no EFEM. So it could be a flicker effect instead. Either that or they're holding, knowing full well that we have a potential K command in hand. Number 15. Swamp. 3. Vindicate. In response, M2 exile. Okay, no flicker even. Draw. You have Maya. Ancient Stirrings. Ugin. 5. Flesh Rake is the other option here. Flesh Rake is a bit awkward though. I feel like they might not be playing with a lot. Like just going for a Vindicate on a E-temp is pretty rough. The thing is that we just don't have a lot going here. Ugin might be the right choice in the long run. We're gonna go Ugin. Saga trigger. And Ballista for 1. And pass. We can make constructs next turn, so that's at least a usage of our mana. Currently at 5, 6, 7, so in 2 turns we can play Ugin. And Ugin will be pretty difficult for them to deal with, at least efficiently. Vindicate would be the main way. 2. White Orchid Phantom? That, oh, maybe a Vindicate? Paying cost. Something modular. X? What? March of Otherworldly Light? Raft the Skies. Shit. Yeah, ping you. That was the worst case scenario, because yeah, that sets us back significantly. So Ugin is really in a tough spot now. There's White Orchid Phantom, 1 card in hand. We shuffle up. We grab our last basic. Yikes. Huh. Draw. Verdant Catacomb can grab our Breeding Pool. I probably should have made sure Breeding Pool isn't in yard, but it is not. 2 cards in hand. So Ugin is now 4 turns off. And if they are ever able to flicker Ephem that White Orchid, we're in danger. Catacomb, Breeding Pool, tapped. And pass, draw, Battle Mage. Battle Mage really isn't doing much here. We don't want to bounce the White Orchid, so we're just going to hold then. We'll hold. Three cards in hand. Down to 10. 3. Flicker Wisp the White Orchid. It's the Avmaya. Yep. That's not great. Bolt for what? Another Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisp the Flicker Wisp. Oh no. And then ETB stack. The White Orchid come in first. The Flicker Wisp come in second. Well, I'm in danger. Yeah, that Wrath of the Skies really put me out. Yep. Auto shuffle. So this is 8 damage on board. So after next turn I go down to 2. I can't even bounce with the Wasescape. Yeah, those Flicker Wisps were brutal. Oh, why would you flicker that? Interesting. Okay. I mean, I'm fine with that. Sire doesn't cut it. I mean, if Ugin was, I don't know, TKS, would that make it better? I don't think so. Play the Yavimaya. We'll pass. No. And pass. So this is 8. Down to 2. What could I even draw? I don't think I can draw anything that would save me here, is the problem. Yeah, I generally don't think I have anything. K command, exile, flicker wisp. Doesn't do anything. K command's already in yard. So digging for Emrakul won't be effective because we'd only have 10. Kicking back a Flicker Wisp does nothing. We can't play Sire. We can't play Ugin. Wasescape can't act as a blocker as it does not have flying. I think that is it. Yeah? Yeah. There's no way for us to go for the combo. We'll concede. Alright. Well, it is what it is. That's a loss against Blink. And felt relatively confident on this game because they had been playing pretty slow, but they had just enough interaction to set us back. That Wrath of the Sky specifically was just brutal. Alright, we'll be back for match 4. Alright, we're back for match 4 on the draw for game 1. Looking at this hand right now. I mean, an E-temp would make it better. Green source, which we have 11. So 15 potential hits, but any land would also be okay, because then we could start making constructs on 3. But really we want only, did I say 11? No, 15 hits, which is roughly, I don't know, 25%, probably a little bit better than 25%. Which isn't bad. We have 2 draws to find something. Though I guess really the green source we want on 1. That's 11 on 1, so roughly roughly 20%. Right? 10, 50, 1 out of 5, 20%? Yeah. I think I'm gonna mulligan this one. Interesting. This is better. So what we're missing is Broodscale. I think we pitch the Ugin here. Yeah. Pitch Ugin. And pass. I don't even think I want to play the Blade on 1. Let me just go Flesh Rake on 2. Flesh Rake on 3. And then Blade. Sigardazade, oh god. Okay, Halfling mixes it up a bit. So this is Hammer Time. It's Azorius Hammer Time. Interesting. Most Hammer Time decks, to my knowledge, are back on Boros. So this is a bit surprising. Pure Steel, okay. Draw. Ancient Stirrings. Glaring Flesh Rake. Ancient Stirrings. I mean, I think we just go Flesh Rake. Yeah? Let's go Flesh Rake. And pass. And just hope we don't die next turn. Pass. Hammer. Draw. 12. And if they have a second hammer, we just die. Yes. Ornithopter. Opal. Land. 1 in hand. Do we call their bluff? So, if they have a hammer, they win. If they don't, we can just start blocking for days. Otherwise, if I block, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flesh Rake. And the blade is mana neutral. So we want to be able to play both Flesh Rakes, the only problem. I'm going to call their bluff. Okay. Took a risk. Paid off. Rumble. So we have a couple thoughts here. Because we can Flesh Rake. Always yield. Always yield. And if they find another hammer, we just lose. Blade. So I'm trying to think here. I want to do this. Because Blade is a ritual at this point. So yeah, we'll go Blade of the Blood Chief. Down to 10. And I think we just can win at this point, right? Does the opponent scoop it up? Triple Flesh Rake for the win. Opponent scoops it up. All right, we got there. Yeah, because we would have then generated 2 more spawns. We've had the breeding pool. We could then Malevolent Rumble, hit him for another 3. Or not even 3. I guess it would be 3, yeah. So not too bad. Flesh Rake for the win. So this is hammer time. Win for game 1. Wastegate Battle Mage is good. Dismember's good. Thief is another thought as well. Much like Wastegate, it can deal with Sigarda's Aid Hammer. Sire's really good in this matchup. The Seiju's good. Probably cut a Rumble. Maybe cut an Ugin. I was thinking at this point, I'm not sure what else to cut. Even if I were to want to bring in Thief. Some number of Rumble, Ugin. It's not really a bad idea. We could. But is it necessary? It felt a very similar niche, so let's do it. Launch on it back like this. I wonder if maybe we cut the Traverse at this point, because the Traverse gets arguably worse now that Rumble's out of deck. I mean, it's still pretty easy to get 4 types in yard between Saga and K Command. Speaking of, this is actually a really good hand for us because Sire of Deaths on 3 is really hard for Hammer to deal with effectively. I will keep. I will pass. Opal. And passing. No Sigardaze, that's nice. Stirrings, we go Halfling. And pass. And pass. Marsh Flats. Fetch. Why didn't you fetch with your lands before? Maybe they were holding up Consign. Pure Steel. Cloud. So you search for an equipment. There's the hammer. I mean, I think we just play at sorcery speed here. Ooh. Hello. I think we just play at sorcery speed here and exile Cloud. So that way, even if they have the Sigardaze, they can attack next turn. Make sure Cloud doesn't have ward or anything. No. Okay. Done. Cloud down. And pass. Like I said, next turn we can Sire 7 Deaths. Pass. Saga trigger. Okay. Stoneforge. Okay. Another hammer. That Hollow Fountain being untapped is a little bit for me. I might not play the Sire. Just feels like they're holding up a consign. Draw. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, hello. Huh. Interesting. We could use the Sire as bait. That's a thought. The only thing is we wouldn't be able to go off next turn, would we? Because we only have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be the only downside. I mean, we could try and use the blade as bait first. I feel like they wouldn't counter it, though. Saga trigger. Yeah, let's use the Sire's bait. Though, I guess there's one downside to that thought. If they have Sigardaze into double hammer, we lose. Yeah, so never mind. We're going to instead use the Broodscale's bait. Yeah, I think tapping down completely, leaving no blockers, would just be bad for me. Would be a bit risky. There's the consign as we expected. Yep. I'll play the blade. And we'll pass. So we have blockers. And I guess what I could do is at least equip blade to a spawn and pass. They have 2 spawns as blockers. They have 2 hammers in hand. Do they have the Sigardaze? Arid Mesa. 2 Paladin. Okay, so they have the Paladin. So no Sigardaze. Draw card. The Mox-Up will still be online as well. And draw a card. Shadow Spear? Oh. That is 21. So we can block with both spawns, basically. Yep. Oh, no, it's going to be 22. Right. Wow. As did. Yep, there's nothing I can do there. The Shadow Spear cooked me. Yeah. I mean, we knew about the consign. It's pretty heavily telegraphed. Maybe we shouldn't have tapped the Delighted Halfling in case of the Shadow Spear. I'm not sure if there was too much we could do there. I can cut Gemstone, and I guess I'll bring in a Rumble. Alright, let's run it back. Yeah, that was a bit awkward. The Sarahs were good, just playing into a consign is bad. On the play for game 3. I'll keep it. We have the Thief, so if they play out Sigarda's Aid or Hammer, we can deal with it. Otherwise, a Ballista of Blade attached is always good. Forest, Halfling, pass, and pass. I'll Fountain Shock for Esper Sentinel. Rude. We can take out the Opal, though. That we can do. Wayscape? I mean, Wayscape can get rid of the Esper Sentinel, which I think I like a bit more right now. So I will kick. Esper Sentinel. Play Blade. And pass. And pass. Plains. For Pure Steel. Draw. Springleaf. I can... I mean, Springleaf is mana neutral. So in that case... I guess that doesn't even matter because we can just go 2, 3. Exile Opal. No Mellowcraft for you. And Bone Scoops up. Looks like Bone Scoops it up. We'll take the one. Alright. Well, we'll be back for match 5. Alright, we're back for match 5 on the draw for game 1. I'll keep, I mean, if we find a payoff, I guess we already have the payoff with command. So basically, if we go on uninterrupted, we win. I guess actually going Rumble here on 2 is better. Okay, so this is going to be Belcher. So we need to win, ideally, on turn 3. Draw. Rumble. Saga trigger, pass. And pass. Question is whether or not Rumble will resolve. Because I feel like they might hold up a Jawari Disruption here. Otherwise they go for Archaeologist or Thundertrap Trainer for Flare of Denial. Yeah. So the worst thing that could have right now for us is a Flare. Because we really want to Rumble. And Trainer finds Spell Snare. That makes things complicated. Trigger. So we need to then cast Broodscale now. Yeah, so we cast Broodscale now. You have Flare. You do not. We pass. And pass. Do you have a way to interact with Broodscale? Otherwise, next turn we equipped, we adapt, we go off. They would need probably a sink in the stupor, which they don't have the mana for. Trainer. They're tapped out. Find the sink. And draw. Blade. Trigger. Float. I'm trying to think here. Now we have to go for the blade. Go for blade. Play of Maya. Equip the Broodscale. Adapt. Always yes. Always yield. Sacrifice. Trigger. Always yield. Sacrifice. Trigger. Yield. Blade number 2. Equip. 7. So the question becomes, do they have a way to interact with 2K commands? I guess we can just fire off this first K command now. It seems like opponent is fully passing. So we'll bottom all but the flesh rake. And opponent scoops it up. Nope. Or Mojo's being weird. Mojo's being weird. Yeah, we had the second command to get rid of the Thunder Trap Trainer. Basically, we're just trying to see if they had the Flare of Denial or Force, which they do not. Alright. And you got there through Belcher. We want Dismember. We want TKS. I don't know if we want Wasescape. Don't really think we do. Flesh Rake, Ballista. Probably just the entire Suite of Sires. Yeah, because Sire's not doing much in this matchup, realistically speaking. Ugin at least starts a clock. Again, Wasescape doesn't really feel great. We could also cut Ugin and just keep all our threats. Because Ugin starts a clock, but then what? Yeah. Alright, let's keep it like this. We have our payoffs, we have Thought Knot, we have Dismember for Harbinger or Tameshi as needed. And it seems good. Alright. Let's see if we can close this out. Get a 3-2 at the end of 5. Yeah, I'm trying to think overall if I like the 7 mana value spells here or not. I like the Springleaf Drum. I like the addition of Springleaf. So that's definitely staying. I was not sure about the 7 mana value spells without Lab. Lab adds that additional benefit. It does strain the mana base for Halfling is the problem. Because we have to knock ourselves down to 9 Forest or Forest equivalent cards versus 11. Technically 13 if we use Cavernous Souls and name Halfling, right? Huh. And the blue is nice just because that way we can more reliably cast Wasescape for the full kicker. Springleaf is definitely a good addition though. I'm happy that I finally acquiesced to that. I guess I could cut the full Sire Suite. Maybe still keep Ugin, because Ugin has a really good opening hand data and very good play rate data. Just because it's really hard for a lot of decks to deal with Ugin efficiently. This is interesting. And I think we keep it. We want to land. Keep. We'll play the odds. We do have the traverse. Draw. There's a land. So in that case, I think we just go Forest Blade, pass. And then we set up for Rumble next turn. Lotus Bloom. So they just drew into that. A little bit worried about a Spell Snare here. Yavimaya. So we're worried about Spell Snare. I mean, I think we just go Rumble then, right? Yeah, we'll just go Rumble. Rumble resolves. There's Cavernous Souls. We go Cavern. And we'll pass. If they Harbinger, then we're in the clear regardless. Pass. So now Basking Broodscale is uncounterable. Draw. Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. So green, colorless, cannot be countered. All right, let's say your opponent says they'll scoop. Not bad at all. Solid. Very, very happy with those results against Belcher. So our only 2 losses were to Blink and Affinity. Blink traditionally being a bit of a more difficult matchup. And then Affinity, I'm going to chalk that one up to a little bit more of unfamiliarity of the deck. Like, there's pieces that I was familiar with, but yeah, the Spellbomb loops were a bit rough on us. Burn was a solid win. Hammer Time was a solid win. Wasescape coming in clutch, and Thief also doing pretty well. I mean, overall, we're getting some pretty consistent results at a 3-2 record at the end of 5 in these leagues, which, I mean, makes me pretty confident if we, let's say, scale that up to 10 rounds. It means a 6-4 record at the end of 10, which, for the most part, I think is good enough to make day 2 for larger events. I'll probably be bringing Broodscale to the Showcase Challenge on Saturday. Is that Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. Where I'll be doing that, so probably see how it fares then on something that's a bit more large scale. Because that's going to be, oh, how many rounds is that even going to be? I don't even know. Don't even want to think about that. It's going to be too big. Let me see if I can check. Or not. Does my computer say too much going on? Apparently. I cannot do things. Weird. Okay. Well, oh, interesting. If I tab over, it's fine. All right, let me take a look here. View pricing. So I mean, at most 10 rounds, yeah. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be probably close to 9. So, I mean, 3-2 record, I don't think gets me to where I want to be, but, or rather, a 6-4 record gets me where I want to be, but still pretty good. We'll try and solidify the list. We're slowly but surely seeing it come together more as we continue to experiment with TKS main versus 7 Value Spells main, but we're seeing more of that solidification of that core deck of like what is working. The lab is still a question of, is lab good enough, or are the 7 Value Spells by themselves good enough? I'm not sure about that yet. I do not have the answer for that just yet, but hopefully have an answer for it soon. Because yeah, like I said, I'm just a little bit concerned about the green sources, or a number of them, if we end up going with lab over, let's say, the Yavimaya. But that being said, that there will be the end of today's video. As always, if you did enjoy it, please do consider hitting the like button. Comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or any general feedback. It'd be much appreciated. For as much that I hope that you all learn from me in both my success and failures, I hope I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you have reached this point in the video and haven't already, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. We're getting closer and closer to next goal of 1,000 subscribers. I think last time I looked, we're just about 100 subscribers away from 1,000. So every subscription does count. Once we do hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll be able to start monetizing these videos, which will allow me to start saving up towards a streaming PC so I can stream live over on Twitch. In the meantime, though, if you do want to support me monetarily, you can do so over on my Patreon, where you get early access to my YouTube videos and any updates I make to my deck guides. With that being said, though, folks, I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye!